Welcome to Recharge with Sean Stevenson. This is the place to be if you want to refill your spirit and rev up your energy. Today is Monday, July 28th, 2014. I am filled with excitement to talk to you tonight because I've been on the road. I have returned home from being overseas. I was in an island called Nassau in the Bahamas. Now, before you start playing the violin and saying, "Oh, Sean, it was such a cushy life," I'm here to tell you that it was some serious travel on my body. And I was only there for a short time, in and out quickly, and my body took a bit of a hit from just the exhaustion and racing and doing the presentation and meeting with everybody. I didn't get to stretch out on the beach and soak up the sun. I can tell you that the one brief moment that I did get with Mindy to relax, we ended up taking a swim with the dolphins. We were staying at the Atlantis Resort, and it was both exciting and interesting. It was exciting because you have this 10-foot living, breathing, interacting mammal. I'm pretty sure a dolphin's a mammal, and he's just gorgeous, and he's so smooth and strong, and that was exciting. It was interesting because I've watched all those movies like Blackfish, and seen those horrible things about circuses and zoos. And a part of me was kind of annoyed that these dolphins were having to be pushed into the next show and the next show and the next show, interacting with silly tourists like myself. But it's a bit of a catch-22 because it pays the bills to take care of these guys and, rehabilitate some of them that were injured. So it's catch-22. And, I posted on my website and I posted on Facebook and social media websites the photo with me and the dolphin and Mindy. And people were like, "Oh, that's awesome." And then other people were like, they should free that dolphin. And I kind of agree with both. But tonight I am returning home to just get my energy back and recharge my life. Because when you travel as much as I do, your time in between speeches is really all about recharging. It's about getting the mind, the body, and the spirit back in order and back into a harmonious level. Because when I look at my life, so much of what I go through is about rebuilding. It's about replenishing what I had depleted from every aspect of my life. People don't think twice about plugging their cell phone in at night, but when you ask them what they do to recharge, they are kind of dumbfounded. They don't even know. So that's what this program is about. We are all about getting you the tools, the mindsets, the ideas to help you rev up your energy, refill your spirit, and rev up your energy. And today is all about energy. And I'm doing this program yet again late at night, and I am filled with energy because I spent the day taking care of myself. I spent the day hydrating with intention. I went out and had Mindy get a bunch of supplementation, all different kinds of supplements to rebuild my immune system, to rebuild my adrenals, all of that, to make my blood stronger through high doses of alkalinity and good alpha lipoic acids, and you name it. I am pumping it into my body to refill what I had drained from that experience. But there's a lot of psychological things that you can do to recharge yourself. And tonight, I want to talk about energy. I want to talk about where you may be leaking energy and how to replenish it based on what I do. Now, I am not a medical doctor. We've gone over this in the last program. I am just telling you my experience of energy. I'm telling you my experience with building up my health and vitality, both mind, body, and spiritually. And one of the things that I do with my breakthrough clients, and so you may not know this, but I have these 12-hour sessions, and I'm doing them less and less now because I'm finding that it is really about the right fit between myself and the client. And if a person's not ready to make changes in their life, then I don't want to just be another excuse for why they don't have what they want. And so I'm taking less and less clients on that experience, and I'm putting more energy and attention into building my speaker training arm of my business, which I'll talk about a little bit later if we have time. But in the breakthrough, one of the things that I do to help people get more energy back in their life is I have them list out on a whiteboard. I make them divide the whiteboard down the middle vertically, 50-50. And on the left side of the vertical divider, I have them write down all of the events in their life that they wish had never happened. The things that they feel like have damaged them. The things that they feel like have held them back. The things that they feel like have contributed to their unfortunate current position that maybe they're in. And then on the right side of that divider, I have them list out all of the people that they feel have wronged them, that owe them an apology, that have abused them, that have neglected them, that have been a pain in their side, annoying, frustrating, whatever it may be. And then, one by one, over the course of hours, we begin to knock each of them off the list. And so we do things such as forgiveness activities. We get them to question their beliefs about those events and those people. We do so many things. And when I say we, I mean me, myself, and I. I have them one by one allow each of those events and list of people evaporate. And before we release them all, I have them number from the start of their events to the last person on the list, on the whole board, number everything that's on the board. And so let's say they have 5 events and 10 people. So it'd be a total of 15 things on the board. And I ask them, if you were paying rent, if you were paying a mortgage on each of these items that are on the board, can you imagine how stretched thin you would be financially if you were supporting 15 houses or 15 different mortgages or 15 rental properties and you weren't getting any cash flow? This was all coming out of your pocket. And people get that. They go, I can barely handle my mortgage, or I can't stand what I pay in rent, or whatever it may be. They all come back to the same thing, which is I wouldn't want that many properties to deal with. And the switch in their thinking that I facilitate is every time you hold animosity, every time you hold ill thoughts and negativity towards events in your past and people in your present or people in your past, you are draining your energy reserves. You're draining your energy just like you would be draining your finances. And so one of the ways that I get energy back into my life is I just kind of do a quick self-diagnostic test to see, Are there any events that have taken place or people that exist that I am holding ill thoughts towards, disdain, negativity about, complaints? Because I know that those items on my board are draining me of precious energy. And so, surprisingly, one of the ways that I get energy back is by finding where I'm bleeding the energy. The second thing that I found that allows a person to get more energy in their life is to just get off the fence. What do I mean by that? A lot of my clients suffer from being indecisive. They can't make a decision to save their life. And it's really bad when it's men, because masculinity is usually about being decisive. And so if a man can't make a decision, he's always like, "Oh, honey, where do you want to go for dinner? I don't care either way. I don't care what we do. No, I'm fine with whatever." And just that eternal flexibility and no preference and no decisiveness can really erode a person's energy, whether they're a man or a woman. I find that sitting on the fence causes us a lot of energetic bleeding. And it's because you aren't fully committed to something. You're not all in. You're allowing your energy to fray. You're saying, "Oh, well, I'm happy to do this, but I'm also happy to do that, but I'm kind of not wanting to do this, and kind of not wanting to do that." And so what happens is you end up doing nothing and you're frozen. And I don't want that for you. And I don't want that for your friends and your family, especially if you feel like you're being bled dry of energy. So, the way that you can get more energy on this point is figure out, where are you on the fence? Are you saying, "Oh, I want to work out, but I really don't"? Or, "I want to do this deal in business, but I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to stay in this relationship or not." The more you're on the fence, the more you're afraid to make decisions, the more bled dry you are of your energy. And, consequently, the more exhausted you'll be. However, on the converse, if you are making decisions, if you do not have lots of areas in your life where you are on the fence, then you'll be able to get more energy. You'll actually start to build up your reserves. The more decisive I am on so many levels, the better. If I'm decisive on what I'm doing when I'm planning out my day, when I'm decisive what I'm doing in terms of what I want to eat, when I'm decisive on what I want to say, decisive on how I want to handle a client or a presentation or a business event, all of that decisiveness gives me more energy. And so I want you to see that more energy is in your future, but you can't sit on the fence. There is no ability to build your reserves on the fence. And to go with that, I want to talk about completion. This is something that I have struggled with off and on my whole life. So I'm not putting myself above you whatsoever when I say that if you are not completing the projects that you want to be completing, your energy is being drained. When we start things and we don't finish them, it's like we start living in a house and then abandon it. And whenever you abandon something, it becomes infested with outside varmint. It becomes run down. It becomes vandalized. It becomes just stinky. And the same thing when you start projects and then walk away from them, they become dilapidated, no different than a home, a property that you would have. Whereas when you complete a property, it's like a sale of a house. You are free and clear, and it is yours if you want, or it is someone else's if you've sold it. But in the end, you are complete, and you get all of the energy back that you invested at the beginning of the project. When I completed my doctorate, I had a rush of energy for weeks because it was something that I had been dragging on and on and on. when I completed my book, Get Off Your Butt, when I have completed, posting something online for my website, whatever big or small it is, when I complete something, I get a rush of energy. And that's what I want you to be aware of, is that when you complete your projects, you're no longer having to manage the people and the events uh, connected to it. You get all that energy back. So if you want to fill up your reserves, look into your life and say, honestly, where am I not completing what I've started? Am I not completing my fitness regimen, my nutritional support program, my exercise, my meditation, my connection to my family? Like, where am I not completing things that I claim I want to complete, that I've started? Then, when you literally start taking steps to complete them, you will find that your reserves begin to fill up again. I love Steve Chandler. He's a coach and a speaker and an author. And he talks about in his book, The Time Warrior, which was a great book. Time Warrior, he talks about how so many people are talking about, what do I do when I'm procrastinating? What do I do? And his response is simple. Do what you know you need to be doing. Do the very thing you're putting off. When you do the very thing you're putting off, procrastination goes away. It's that simple. And yet it's something that we go, well, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. You would think I would do that. Yeah. And that just lackadaisical, disconnected, totally dipping the toe in the water but not getting all the way in, that limp rag mentality allows people to stay stuck and stay frustrated, and more importantly, based on this show, stay exhausted. You want to complete things. You want to see them all the way through. Or you want to clean them off your plate and say, I'm not going to do this anymore. Or I'm going to leverage this out to someone else. Or I'm just going to let this go because it's not going to be the best use of my time. And that's hard, especially if you have a long history with whatever it is. So, you're not wanting to continue to hold on to low vibration, negative events or people in your mind. You want to make sure you get off the fence and start being more decisive. You want to start completing your projects because completion gives you a surge. And the next thing I want to talk to you about is you want to look at the experience of getting your energy back as all encompassing of life. So when I'm drained energetically, I ask myself to look at the three buckets. And the three buckets are health, wealth, and relationships. When I'm speaking of health, that's mind, body, and spirit. When I'm speaking of wealth, I'm talking about your cash flow, your net worth, the debts you might have. And when I speak of your relationships, I mean your relationship to your creator, to your friends, to your lovers, to your family, to your colleagues, employees, or community at large. That when I am drained energetically, I look to see, if one of those three buckets, health, wealth, and relationship, has any holes in it. Where am I leaking energy? Because we may be crushing it in one area. We may be doing so well in one bucket. Let's say we are hitting the gym, we're doing, our P90X at home, and we're doing our CrossFit at the gym, and we're doing all these things, and we're really jacked up, really stacked and cut. And then, we're getting all of our validation from that. But maybe we're totally alone, and there's no relationship. There's no intimacy or cuddling or sex or anything that is above and beyond friendship. And so you want to look at your three buckets and ask yourself honestly, how am I doing in each of these? Because you're never going to have them all perfect. You're never going to have them all overflowing at the top. No, it's a process. For me, the process is just journaling. And in my journal, I'll ask myself, what's going on in my health? What's going on in my wealth? What's going on in my relationships? And for a while, I've been talking about how, I put my wealth and career bucket above my health. And I felt it when I was on this last trip. I could feel that my sleep wasn't as restful. I could feel myself craving salty and sugary foods as opposed to high nutrient dense foods. I could just feel myself getting crabbier and grouchier because I hadn't made my health a higher priority than my wealth. I find that if you make your health a higher priority than your wealth, then you have the energy to build whatever it is that makes you money. But if you have the money but you're not putting time and energy into your body, then what's the point? Because you're exhausted, in pain, sick, tired, whatever it may be. You want to make sure that you're looking at your life as an all-encompassing experience of health, wealth, and relationships. And I want to talk to you now, in the remaining time that we have. I'm just going to go completely off script and talk to you about some of the things that I've been working on. I've been really working on my diction, so my ability to articulate the words that I want. I'm working on getting off of Facebook and spending more time reading. I'm spending more time listening to audio programs and learning, because I really believe that maybe outside of listening to Recharge on your Facebook page, that much of Facebook is draining energetically. We're comparing ourselves to others. We're looking at success of others and not hearing the struggles, not seeing the behind-the-scenes actions. And so it's easy to be like, wow, they have it so much better than I do, when we don't have a clue. So one of the ways that I would recommend that you get more energy and that you have more fun in life is stop comparing yourself. Who cares that your older brother has more money than you? Who cares that your ex-wife is doing well now financially with her new husband? Who cares that your boyfriend is in great shape and you're envious because you don't think you'll ever get there? All that, you gotta let it go. And you gotta breathe. Let's take a breath right now. In through the nose. Hold it. Out through the mouth. Good. Another thing that I do to energetically recharge is I listen to something called Abraham Hicks. Now, if you're super religious and this program, this Abraham Hicks stuff weirds you out, I totally understand. I was raised pretty strong Catholic, and to hear about this thing called Abraham Hicks really kind of confused me. However, some of the material that comes out of these books and audios and videos that Esther Hicks puts together, they're just so life-altering. They're so healing, and they are so high vibration. So I spend time on my iPhone. I have an app called The Vortex that's based on Esther Hicks and Abraham Hicks material, and I just listen to the health, the wealth, and the love one, which is the relationship one, and I just enjoy giving back to my spirit as well. People think about going to the gym and working out their body, and no one finds that too funny. But what about working out your mind? Doing things like Lumosity, doing things like Sudoku, doing things like memory games. That helps with the mind. The body, it's about having nutritional support. Tonight, what I'm drinking is a green juice that I got from this awesome place. If you're ever in Arizona, in the Phoenix, Scottsdale, Arizona area, you want to go to Grab a Green. I'm not paid to say that. I just love this restaurant. They make all natural smoothies and juices, and you can determine which ones you want. And so you might be thinking, Sean, why are you going off on that tangent? Because that is a part of my recharge. When I come home and I'm exhausted, I will go to this restaurant and I will order a bunch of juices and smoothies. I'll bring some home, put them in the fridge. I'll bring the others home, put them in the freezer. And then I will have them over the next couple of days. I have a juicer, and Mindy and I occasionally juice, but it's just so much nicer to be able to have somebody else make it for you. But if financially that's not feasible for you, that's totally fine. I've been there, and you're going to want to invest maybe in your own juicer and juice for yourself. It's really up to you. But I really put a lot of time and attention on keeping my mind sharp, keeping my spirit open and soft, and exercising the body. I'm looking forward to getting into my exercise regimen tomorrow morning. I've got some neat things planned around that. The thing about health, wealth, and relationships is there's always another level. When somebody says, oh, my health is great, I'm like, okay, awesome. What's the next thing you're going to be doing? And it's not about enjoying the moment and passing it by. It's about having things to work towards with your health, your wealth, and your relationships. That's so key. So I'm gearing up. I'm not having to be on the road or speak for a few weeks, and I am gearing up for my live event, August 14th to 17th in in Scottsdale, Arizona at the Hyatt. That was Scottsdale and Hyatt at the same time. And it's at the Hyatt Regency, which is a gorgeous resort. We have somewhere between 4 and 3 spots left. I don't know the exact amount because I haven't checked it recently. But if you want to learn about how you can travel the world and have somebody else pay for it, get paid to also be in those luxurious spots, and to make a difference by sharing your expertise, and you want to learn how to get paid $10,000 or more for just 1 hour of your time, then you're going to want to check out SeanStephenson.com/10K. That's Sean Stephenson, SeanStephenson.com/10K as in kilo or kangaroo. So SeanStephenson.com/10K. And I have a video on there and a description of everything you get if you register. I would love to have you there. I've been talking about it on Recharge for quite some time. It'll be an exciting few days to experience. It is on August 14th to the 17th. You're going to want to go to SeanStephenson.com/10K. And maybe it's not for you. Maybe becoming a speaker and getting paid good money is not something of your interest. And that's fine. I'm just putting it out there for those that say, whoa, I can learn from Sean in a 2.5 day period, all about speaking. Sign me up. And that's what's happening now that there are only a few spots left. They're rolling in each day and they're getting excited. So I would love to have you there. In summation, my friend, I want you to know that I love you. And I don't even need to know you to know that you are a valuable asset on this planet. You are an important part of the human race. And I hope that some of the tips and ideas that I gave you tonight about what to do to rev up your energy and refill your spirit has a positive, lasting effect on you, my friend. I love you. I look forward to chatting with you next week. Until then, check out SeanStephenson.com/10K. That's 10K as in kangaroo.